So we are on the step of feelings. So you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself, and you have to forgive all of the people around you. That was the hardest thing for me, is being able to forgive. And I remember I used to sit in the back of church crying my eyes out because I wanted so badly to do something about that abusive relationship that I was in. And I felt God saying, no, don't do anything right now. And really what it was is I needed to forgive him for what he did, but I also needed to forgive myself for allowing myself to stay so long in something that was so detrimental to my safety, to my health, to everything. And when I finally forgave, then I was able to really move forward and really change my life for the better. And so many other people out there get trapped in the unforgiveness part of life, the holding grudges. And unfortunately, when you do that, forgiving isn't for the other person. Forgiving is for you. So if you hold on to a grudge, you are not hurting the person who hurt you. You're actually still hurting yourself, because you constantly think about it. You constantly think about revenge, and constantly think about how you are going to battle this person that hurt you so bad. So when you forgive, you literally set yourself free. And that's what we help to teach you in our Breakthrough Masterclass. And then, of course, don't suppress your emotions. I don't know how much I can exemplify that. Do not suppress your emotions. If you have to talk to somebody, do so. If you have to write, but don't suppress. Step 4, words. So oftentimes people don't understand the power of language. So our language really dictates where we're going in our lives. So whatever you think about, you will actually speak as well. So if you constantly think negative thoughts, then you're going to start speaking negative thoughts. But if you start thinking positive things, then you also then in return will say positive things. So use positive power words. So do you guys know what positive power words are? So it's like great, grateful, beautiful, I am enough, I can achieve, belief, overcoming, all of these amazing, awesome, beautiful words that you can use. And I'm actually going to gift you guys a guide, and I'll have a bunch of positive power words in that guide as well for you. But using these positive power words in place of those negative words, those negative thoughts that we think. Instead of thinking to yourself, I am enough, what I want you to do is say to yourself, I am enough, So make sure to use positive power words. You manifest what you speak. So whatever you say out loud will happen. So if you start to speak that your business is going to generate $1 million next year, and if you start to believe that every day, and if you start to write it down, and if you start to say it to yourself every morning and every night, and writing it down and saying it out loud, you will manifest that. And that is the awesome power of great language, is because if you speak what you want, you will speak it into existence. Did everybody get that? If you speak what you want out loud, you will speak it into existence. And that's what we want. We want you to manifest what you speak. And then the influence of language through subliminal messaging. So we live in the 21st century. We drive down the street, we see a billboard. We don't understand that billboard affects us 3 hours later. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm craving McDonald's French fries. Why am I craving McDonald's French fries, right? I love that you're laughing, because this happens to all of us. It was that billboard we saw 2 or 3 hours ago when we were driving by, and McDonald's said, it's not Taste the Rainbow. Taste the Rainbow is Skittles, but McDonald's has their slogan, right? And whatever that is, you decide that in the back of your brain, you start thinking about French fries, because French fries are absolutely amazing. 3 hours later, that billboard with those words on it affected your actions 3 hours later. So the influence of subliminal messaging is so powerful. So what I want you to do with the power of great language and with positive power words is give yourself subliminal messages all throughout the day. Put Post-it notes in your car, put Post-it notes in your bathroom, writing, I will generate $1 million of revenue for my business next month, or I can achieve, or I can overcome, or I can forgive, or whatever that looks like. I am grateful. I am beautiful. I can lose those 10 pounds. I already have, just write those things out and put them all over your house. You don't have to wake up and read every single one of them, but if they're in your frame, then you will subconsciously read them. And then that language then will come out in your day-to-day activities. And if you read in the morning that I am beautiful, I am grateful, I am amazing, then 3 hours later, you're not going to be craving McDonald's French fries. You're going to be thinking to yourself, I'm amazing and I've got this challenge. And I know I'm talking to this person on Zoom right now that's driving me up a wall, but I can make it through this, right? So make sure to use positive power words in your life. Now, number 5, this is probably the most important step out of all of the steps, is you have to take action. There are so many people who come up to me and ask for help and ask for a coach. And I say, yes, we can meet for an initial consult. Let's talk about some of the challenges that you're facing. Let's put our minds together and decide how we can break through these challenges. But then that person doesn't take action. And unfortunately, I don't like to work with people who don't work, right? Because we're all entrepreneurs. We're all people of influence, and we all have busy lives, and we're here to make a difference. How many of us want to make a difference in this world? And if you don't take the action steps that your coaches, that your mentors are telling you to take, if you don't listen to the steps, the processes, the programs that you need to listen to in order to move forward, then why would we want to work together if you can't take the initial steps, right? So what I want to exemplify is make sure to take action. Now, a lot of those action steps could be, going to see a therapist or talking more about your emotions or childhood. But then a lot of it could be your anxiety based around COVID, your depression because of work, your fear that life is not gonna move forward in a positive way, and we're gonna be stuck in this twilight zone forever, So what we want to be able to do is take action steps to get you out of that. So whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. So what I want you to be able to do is support your mind with motivational and inspirational material. So I want you to read great books. I want you to listen to amazing podcasts. I want you to jump on summits like this all the time. I don't care if you just woke up and you have a hangover from the night before. Turn off your video, but jump on and listen, because all of these positive phrases and positive material that you're learning, that you're hearing from amazing speakers and coaches and mentors and people who have experienced trauma, people who have experienced obstacles themselves, that can help motivate you to move forward. So maybe last night you went out and you had a little too much, but maybe tonight you decide that you're not going to, because you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to generate that $1 million of revenue for your business in the next year. So make sure to support your mind with all of these motivational and inspirational things, materials. One of my favorite books is called Millennial Samurai by George Chanos. George Chanos is a friend of mine. He is the former, I always get this wrong, Secretary of State, no, former Secretary General, I believe, of the state of Nevada. but he wrote a book called Millennial Samurai, and it's about 140 some odd chapters, but each chapter is only like 2 pages long. And what it is each chapter talks about the quality, the characteristic that you need for the 21st century. And if you read just 2 pages, 1 chapter a day, you learn about different characters like empathy, um, uh, being able to empathize with the people around you, being able to understand what it is to walk in somebody else's shoes. Because when you learn how to look at other people's lives through their vision, then you start to appreciate what you have. So make sure to support your mind. I know I'm running out of time. So number 2 is write. Writing is so impactful, so important. Tell you the truth, during the first couple weeks of this lockdown, I kind of was confused. I was anxious. I had severe anxiety. That's when I started reaching out to my mentors and coaches. And the one thing that they said is that make sure you follow your own steps. So I decided to start journaling again and start writing. Stream of consciousness writing is what I do. Is I just literally, I go to the beach and I just write what comes to my mind, whether that is me being anxious or me being fearful or me, deciding, should I go on this date with this guy, or how do I pivot my business, or, oh, should we expand Unsilenced Voices here? Whatever it is, you write it out. And writing it out, I'm able then to read it back to myself and be like, oh, all right, now that I see it in written form, I can understand it, recognize what I'm going through, accept it, right? And then I can change my thought process, elevate my feelings, be able to use positive words because I decided to take action. 3, make sure to regularly meditate. Now, this can look differently for different people. Just breathe, really is what this is. If you get anxious, if you're depressed, if something's happening in your life and you don't know what to do, I want you to just stop and breathe. So meditation could be, the whole woo-woo, I'm gonna, close my mind and close my eyes and do all, I don't know how to meditate like that, but I do know how to breathe. And we all know how to breathe. And we all know how to sit for a minute and try to get out of our head and just take a breath, because it regulates your brain to where you can think about what you're facing and be able to conquer it. So make sure to give yourself 5 minutes a day to meditate. Exercise. I don't care if you go run 18 miles or if you go walk around the block. Just get out of your house, exercise, especially right now during lockdowns when everybody is stuck at home. We need to be able to get outside, get some vitamin D, and get some fresh air. So make sure to exercise. Make sure to get enough sleep. I know right now a lot of people are staying up later and waking up later. Like me, I mean, I am too. Right now, it's super early for me. I'm never up right now. I mean, it's 9. It's almost 9 my time. Never up at like 6:30. It's kind of early, but a lot of people are. But in order to wake up early, I had to go to bed earlier, and I had to make sure that I got my 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep, whatever that looks like, to make sure that my brain was functioning so I could talk to you guys. So make sure to get sleep, because when you get sleep, then you can determine what you're facing and be able to conquer those challenges and innovate and pivot your business, especially right now. And then you need to find ways to laugh. I know there are so many people out there right now who are struggling, and it's really hard to laugh when you're struggling. I want you to watch a comedy. I want you to call your brother and talk to him and make him make fart jokes with you or something, and just laugh, because it's so important to laugh. You burn more calories that way. You have a better day throughout your entire day if you find ways to laugh. And then practice gratitude. Like I said, empathy is so important. And when you empathize with other people, and when you see what they're going through in their lives, and then you look at your own, then you become more grateful, even more grateful for the things that you have, for even the challenges that you're facing. Because let's face it, all of us, I think all of us on this thread live in the United States of America. Yep, most of us on this thread, there we go, live in the United States of America. We live in a first world country that's doing their best to take care of us, no matter what side you are on politically, right? Whether you're Democratic or Republican or, you know, libertarian, don't want to talk about any of this. I don't blame you, but you're grateful for living here, because we are in a place where we can speak up, where we can go to a protest if we want to. We can start a business and fail and start a business again and fail forward, because we're grateful for what we have. And when we're able to look at our lives as not something that we are upset about or not something that we look at and we hate, but when we're able to look at our lives and be like, you know what? I've been through a lot of crap and I'm still here. And I am so grateful that I'm still here, because what I've gone through, I now can impact so many other people. So make sure to practice gratitude every single day. And then make sure also to control your reactions. So right now there are so many people who are pissed off at the world. And, you know, I was in Trader Joe's not too long ago. I know I don't have very much time left. I was in Trader Joe's not too long ago, and I was talking to one of the cashiers, and I was just like asking him how his day was going. And of course the glass is between us. We're both in masks, you know, 6 feet apart, whatever that looked like. But he was upset and he was depressed. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, you doing okay? He's like, the people around me are so mean. And the people who come in that, you know, essential worker, this guy works at this, you know, place where you get groceries, and we all have to go to a Ralph's or a Vaughn's or a Trader Joe's or whatever that looks like. But he said the people around me are so mean, and they're rude, and they cuss at the cashiers, and they're pissed off because they have to stand in line for 20 minutes to get groceries. Well, unfortunately, other people and the way that they treated this cashier caused him to have a very bad day. Now, these people who hurt him, if they were to control their reactions, bite their tongue, understand that they're facing their own challenges, but they need not put it on other people, then our world would be a better place to live. So, you know, I kind of talked to him for a couple minutes while I was standing in line and helped him through some of those challenges. And I was like, you know, don't listen to Tom down the street, just like I'm telling you guys to. And, you know, everybody is facing something right now, but make sure you control your reactions. It's up to you to choose. So those 5 steps, what I want to be able to do, I know I don't have too much time, but does everybody have a cell phone? Yes, I know everybody's got a cell phone. So what I want you to do is text the word UNITE, UNITE, to 26786. I'm going to put this in the chat, 67-86. And when you text that, you're going to receive a message back, and you're going to receive the entire 5-step system on how you overcome challenges and obstacles in a PDF format. So it's a 6-page document. It's an infographic that our team put together for you to give you to help you overcome a lot of the challenges that we're facing now. And when you text that, you'll get that. And what I want to be able to do is open this up to questions, to concerns. You can unmute yourself. You can jump in at any time. And I kind of want this to be a back and forth banter. We only have probably another minute or so. I know that it was cut off at 45, and he's going to be cutting us off, and I'll probably see the little 60-second thing. Unite, you text UNITE, so UNITE to 26786. 86, there you go. So what I want to be able to do is banter a little bit. So how many of us are facing those challenges, right? Are facing some type of challenges? Does anybody want to open up about some of the challenges that we're facing?
Yeah, like personally?
Well, yeah, personally, exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm still in recovery from life-threatening injury that happened 4 years ago, pulmonary embolism and anoxic brain injury, and to get to the point that was caused by long-term use of medications for anxiety and also less than optimal nutrition to go along with that. And what I want to do now is get the word out about the integrative therapies that have helped me heal beyond traditional medicine, so that other brain injury survivors, so it doesn't take them as long to get the help they need. And I'm speaking about resilience, so I could certainly use things like your PDF as an outline or a guide. And I'm writing about it all also, and including interviews with the integrative practitioners that have helped me personally.
That's awesome. So what it sounds like is that you've actually taken some action steps already to be able to impact other people and share and speak about your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty awesome. You know, and it's so important to take those action steps. And it sounds like that you had a lot of challenges that you're still facing right now, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure, Paige, I'm sure sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're just like, why? But then you change your mind and you choose to think differently, and you
I
choose
have,
to
yes.
impact. Yeah. And
yeah, I'm on disability now, and that's $700 a month, and I'm doing what I can with that in to contribute to our total $2,500 a month household income, me and my husband. And
yeah, no, so that's
yeah.
absolutely amazing. So you're taking those action steps. So it's a daily process. You have to wake up every day and you have to think to yourself, you know, I can still do this. And because I experienced this brain injury and this disability, this doesn't define who I am, and my voice matters no matter what. So I love what you're doing, and that's really great. Make sure to text that number, and you can definitely use that PDF as like a template for you for what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be impacting other people. So that's amazing. Super
Yeah,
awesome, Paige.
I think we're the same age too. I'm October of '83.
Oh yeah, we are. So I'm August. So I'm gonna be 37 this year. So that's kind of crazy. So are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Paige, for sharing. What about anybody else? Does anybody else want to jump on? Do we have any questions? Any concerns? Do we want to? There we go. Do we want to talk about the steps again? Do you want me to write them out? I'm going to write them out. Recognize feelings, words, actions.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Roosevelt. Hi, Roosevelt.
Yeah. Hey, how you going?
Hey.
I grew up with 11 sisters, and they were pretty much going through the abuse thing. And it was always a challenge to just try to get them away from it, you know? So now I have a daughter your age. Well, actually, she'll be 38 this year. But she's kind of like in this situation. I constantly have to go and try to handle this guy she's with. You know, she won't leave the situation. So, what was the aha moment for you when you said, "Okay, definitely, I've been kicked around, I've been beat up, I've been thrown through walls enough to say it's time to get out of here."
Enough is enough. So I was with Paul for like a little over 3 years. And at that point, I had discovered he was having affairs on me. And something in my brain subconsciously, I was like, you could beat me, you could, you know, throw me through walls, yell at me, sexually assault me, but cheating on me, for some reason, I couldn't take that. And I remember when I found out, I drank an entire fifth of Makers to myself. I was sick. I mean, that's a lot of liquor. And I was very sick, and I was rolling around on the floor, and Paul was there, and he's like, I didn't know that this was going to impact you so bad. Well, when I finally got my head back on my shoulders, I took a couple breaths, and took a couple days, and then I decided that I needed some time, and I stepped away, but I still stayed with him. And the final breaking point, the final straw that broke the camel's back per se, was when we were separated. So he was dating somebody else, and he had put this other woman's head through a glass window in the bathroom. And at that point, she contacted me and contacted the police. And I had to make a decision if I was going to be on her side or continue being financially and emotionally abused by Paul. And of course, I chose to be on her side. And that's really what did it. But what's crazy is you have 11 sisters that's a lot of sisters that I'm sure a handful of them have experienced domestic violence. And you're saying that the younger one won't leave. Well, I left my abuser about 7 times before I finally left for good. And it wasn't until I actually sat down in front of my computer and started writing my story that I then understood how bad the relationship was. We've got about 27 seconds left. So when I discovered that it was that bad, then I was like, okay, I can't go back, because every bone inside my body wanted to call Paul, wanted to call him and say that I loved him and I missed him and I wanted things to work out. But I didn't. And I held my tongue. It took a couple months, but I held my tongue, and I was better for it afterwards.